Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam. This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Happy Monday, everybody. Jordan Brenner in here hosting Duck Insider. Duck Insider brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union, live here in the Country Financial Studios. A lot to go over today. We'll have a lot of Oregon baseball coming up. Unfortunately, the Ducks going 1-2 and getting eliminated in the Louisville Regional. But first, off the top, we're going to talk about a big story this morning. Two Duck football legends getting inducted, or nominated, I should say, for the College Football Hall of Fame. This is elite company that we're looking at. LaMichael James, Lodi Ncaa, named to the 2023 ballot. Only 0.02% of college football players ever have been inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame. The Ducks have 7 in the Hall of Fame currently. Mike Bellotti, Ahmad Rashad, Mel Renfro, Len Casanova, John Beckett, John Kitzmiller, and Norm Van Brocklin have been initiated. So let's go over some of these very worthy credentials. First, we'll start with LaMichael James on the left, a 2-time first-team All-American. You have to be a first-team All-American to even be nominated for this award. LaMichael James did that 2 different times. The 2010 Doak Walker Award winner. 3rd in the Heisman in 2010. Led the nation with more than 1,700 rushing yards. Led the Ducks to 2 12-win seasons, 3 league titles, and, of course, the 2011 BCS National Championship appearance. And then Lodi Ncaa, the defensive tackle, just an absolute mauler of a man. Obviously, everybody knows about the professional career he went on to lead. But at Oregon, in 2005, he was a consensus first-team All-American, the first Ducks player to do that since 1962. First player in Oregon history to be named the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year. He was just hurting people in 2005. It was crazy. Back in 2002, also a freshman All-American. So those two Ducks, congratulations for being nominated for this award. How selective? 5.54 million people have played college football. Only 1,056 players have been inducted. The announcement of the 2023 Hall of Fame class will be made in early 2023, with specific details to be announced in the future. Congratulations to those two Duck superstars. Absolutely. Terry Jonz is going to join us at 1:35. We're going to play for you some of the women's basketball season highlights, look back at the last year, at the future of the program with the voice of women's basketball. We'll also touch on a little football as well, so you can look forward to that here in the back half of the show. All right, I put it off. Here we go. Oregon baseball. Let's go over how this regional went, and it started against Michigan. An 8-6 loss, and Oregon ran into a Michigan team that was just red hot, and they gave Michigan all they could handle. Michigan went on a huge run to win the Big Ten tournament, but ultimately the Ducks come up 2 runs short. Oregon went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So the last 2 games after the conclusion of this one, so you're combining the Arizona State loss in the Pac-12 tournament and the loss against Michigan, Oregon in those 2 games went 1 for 23 with runners in scoring position. That'll kill you. The Wolverines hit 3 dingers. On the bright side of things, Brennan Malone hit a home run. That was his second career postseason home run. We'll have more on him in a second. 2 doubles. The team had 7 doubles altogether. So when you lose the first game of a regional, you're really digging yourself a hole. But credit to Oregon on Saturday. They came out against Southeast Missouri State. They call him SEMO. Look at that number if you're watching with us here. 26 hits. That is a program record for hits in a game, a Pac-12 record for hits in a postseason game. So Oregon comes back the very next day. It was an angry win. Scored 7 runs in the second inning. 8 Ducks had an RBI. 5 Ducks had multiple runs batted in that win. So I had a conversation with Joey after this, and I think it's always valuable when you're there with the team off the field. How are they conducting themselves? How are they holding themselves in the hotel? What's the vibe at breakfast? All that stuff. Joey was really complimentary of how the team was conducting themselves. And into Sunday's game with Louisville, Joey actually told me he expected Oregon to upset the Cardinals and win that game. And boy, they got close. Oregon got down early. They were down 7-2. Then in the 7th inning, added a run. In the 8th inning, Oregon made one final big-time push. Colby Shade and Brennan Malone started the rally with a single. Josh Kasevich hit an RBI base hit with an out. Then Anthony Hall comes up and really put the pressure on with a 2 RBI double. Just smoked it. Cardinals got one back. Oregon fell a little bit short. A team that had come back all year long, nearly made a comeback with their backs against the wall. And by the way, I think if Oregon could complete that comeback, and they had a chance to in that 8th inning with Josiah Cromlech coming up, I think I'm trying to remember who else came up in that inning. It doesn't really matter. But one more hit in that inning, I think we could be talking about Oregon playing baseball today. I think Louisville was a beatable team. I think Michigan was beatable as well. Boy, Oregon came close. So they lose by 2 combined runs against Michigan, 3 combined against Louisville, and come up short. Their season ends in pretty disappointing fashion. But a couple things to go over. I think, so we're going to see an all-regional team come out. We saw it last year. The Ducks, I think, had 3 players who made that team for the Eugene Regional last year. To me, there are 3 obvious contenders for the all-regional team this year. Brennan Malone continues to be a problem in the postseason. He went 9 for 15 over those 3 games, hit 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and 4 runs batted in. Josh Kasevich, 5 for 11 with a couple of doubles, also had a triple. Not to mention what he was able to do defensively. I mean, there must have been 2 or 3 diving plays at shortstop. So Josh Kasevich contributing at the plate, but also saving runs in big spots defensively. I think he has a real shot to make the team as well. And then Anthony Hall, 7 for 13 with 3 doubles and 6 runs batted in over 3 games. Those are 3 guys who were up to the challenge in the postseason. And I find this fun, just looking holistically at the postseason careers of certain players, and 2 Ducks stand out. So Brennan Malone played a season at South Carolina and appeared in the postseason and was awesome. So now combined, if you put together that dominant postseason with this one, he's 12 for 23, hitting .522 in the postseason with 3 home runs. 3 home runs for Brennan Malone. Spectacular. And then Anthony Hall, 13 for 29 altogether. That is a .448 average. 2 home runs, 13 total runs batted in. That's only, I think that's 7 games from Anthony Hall in the postseason. Pretty spectacular from those guys. So now we zoom out. And, there's disappointment now, right? Oregon goes 1-4 over their last 5 games and kind of, didn't perform up to the level of expectation towards the end of the season. But if you zoom out and look at the entire season, right, a season where Oregon lost 3 of their best hitters, probably their 3 best hitters in Zavala, Jovan, and Matthews. What were the expectations for this team entering the season? I actually think they surpassed them. So a lot of single-season records were broken. As a team, Oregon hit more home runs, drove in more runs, scored more runs, and had more hits and total bases than any other team in Oregon history. They broke the single-season batting average record, hitting .310. That was a record that stood since 1965 when that team hit .306. So Oregon breaks all those records. If you look at individuals, Tanner Smith, his 85 hits, that's a school record. More hits than any Duck ever in a season. Brendan Malone, by the way, 85 hits. That's second now on the all-time list. Anthony Hall now tied for third in the single season with RBIs, drove in 56. Malone right behind him with 55. Home runs, Anthony Hall's 14 is the second most a Duck has ever hit. I think we're going to start to see a more offensive program into the next few years with Mark Wasikowski at the helm of the Ducks. And, well, we might see a lot more records broken. So looking into next year, if you're kind of looking at your deck of cards and figuring out what Oregon baseball has to offer, well, likely going to return 3 pitchers: Adam Meyer, Jay Stoffel, Isaac Aon. So what was maybe a weakness for this team all year, getting starting pitching, could actually turn into a strength next year. Jay Stoffel stumbled out of the blocks. He was injured. Showed what he could do at the end of the season. Isaac Aon was maybe Oregon's most reliable starting pitcher throughout the year. And then Adam Meyer, well, we never really got to see what he could do, but he was the number 2 transfer in the country entering this season and suffered an injury. Good chance we see him back next year. You add to that some of the freshmen on this roster, and Bennett Thompson and Jacob Walsh, 2 of the more promising freshmen in the Pac-12, well, Oregon has a lot to build on. We'll see what other position players return. I think a lot are going to get professional looks, and I think deservedly so. But I think there's a good chance that Oregon returns a lot next year and could even be better when we play baseball in 2023. Let's get to Mark Wasikowski, who talked to the media after that disappointing loss yesterday.
Yeah, it's never easy to finish your season off. Very proud of the team that I coached. Love those guys. To the seniors, they really invested, and they did so much for the program to be in 2 straight regionals. Where last year, when we were in our first regional, not a guy in the locker room knew what that was like to even be in a postseason play. We're building something. Coach Mack, obviously, credit to him and his program and the great program he has is, that's the goal. That's what it looks like, and that's what we're trying to build for. And so our guys got a very clear view of what it looks like when a program is as good as Coach McDonald's, and that's what we're striving to be. Thought it was a great college baseball game that we came up short with. Very proud of the seniors that we got a chance to suit up with, and excited about the future that we have as a program. Yeah, I mean, well, anytime you're in postseason situation, and those experiences are going to help you in the future. Just understanding what it's like. Understanding what it's like to have a crowd against you or for you, depending on where you're at or whatever. Just experience is just invaluable. So. There's so many positives. We came off a year this year where we broke, I think it was 10 offensive school records, 2 straight years in postseason play. And a lot to like with the young players that we have in our program. The player development piece, having guys like Anthony Hall and Josh Kasevich probably getting a chance to go out professionally in the top couple of rounds where they weren't even drafted out of high school, amongst many others, just to get a chance to coach these guys has been awesome. They wanted to change the culture at Oregon from being a place that was about the stuff to being a place that was about substance. And I think that the people of Louisville saw that the baseball team that I get a chance to coach just got after it, got after it every day, and I love them.
I think Mark Wasikowski had a great point. This is a program that's starting to become a program about the results and getting it done on the field. I think fans saw that all year long. Well, the NCAA Track and Field Championships coming to Eugene. That event starting on Wednesday. We'll hear from sprinter Michael Williams after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by Ncaa and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studios, brought to you by On Point Community Credit Union, Eugene, Oregon, the track capital of the entire world. Well, we're going to see another big event at Hayward Field this week. The Track and Field Championships, the semifinals getting going on Wednesday afternoon. Going to be non-stop track and field from Wednesday until Saturday afternoon. One of the stars of the event is Michael Williams, and, well, reporters had the privilege to talk to him the other day, and here's him previewing that event here in Eugene.
I mean, you could potentially run at a lot of big meets here this summer. I'm sure you're coached to kind of focus on your next event, your next meet. Yeah. How do you balance kind of the big picture thinking of training for the long term this summer with also focusing, on a meet like the NCAAs next week?
Well, NCAA is in like 6 days, so that's my focus. The other ones will come after. So the biggest thing right now for me is to compete and go for a win in NCAAs. So we'll see how the other meets go after I finish that one.
But do you keep your eye on the national scene, on the U.S. scene, and just see who's running fast, how people are doing?
Not really. I try to just focus on myself. I believe in myself. I've proven to myself multiple times this year that I could compete with the best. So I just try to have confidence in myself and keep believing in myself there in that aspect.
So, the 4x1 gets through. What's it like to have, guys that you're getting hyped up for this meet for, that you're preparing for this meet for, and, kind of the team element of it, and it's not just kind of all about your training where you're at.
Yeah. Oh, I want my team to make it. Last year we lost, obviously, in the first round. So obviously I want to do my best to give my team the best chance of making to the finals, competing to win a national championship. So it was better to win with 4 guys than 1. So I want to see if I could do my best to help us compete at a high level there.
The history of Oregon track and field kind of speaks for itself, but there isn't a strong history in the men's sprints.
Yeah.
I think the last one was almost 60 years ago. Somebody won a 100-meter title. What does that mean to you? I mean, are you concerned at all about, or think at all about, leaving a legacy and kind of changing that history for Oregon?
Yeah, that's ultimately the goal, but I don't know. I'm just trying to leave my mark, and if that's where it's a legacy for Oregon track and field or not, I'm just trying to be the person that people look up to, especially in Oregon. Not many sprinters from Oregon come out and do things that I'm doing, so I just want to leave a mark there, and if that is a mark on the Oregon track and field men's legacy, then that would be the biggest thing for me, I would say.
Being an in-state guy, I mean, there's a chance to really put on a show here locally. So I guess, does that maybe help you in that regard to really capture the attention of other local kids who might look up to you, something like that?
Yeah, definitely, because when I was growing up, I didn't really see many like Oregon kids like running or sprinting. Like Ryan Bailey was the closest one, but not really any from Portland that were like top tier sprinters. So I don't know, hopefully I can inspire kids. My goal one day is to hopefully like get a track made or resurfaced at Fernhill, if you know what that is, because that's where I used to always train and stuff, and the track is horrible, but hopefully one day I could help resurface that and maybe make a club over there. That's the goal for me.
When did you start?
I started track when I was like 11, but I was really bad. So it took me a while to actually enjoy track. I was a football guy. Then I broke my ankle, and then I decided I made a deal with my track coach that I would take it seriously for a year, and then now I'm here. So
it's all relative. So considering you're one of the fastest on the planet, what's really bad at that time? Would define really bad, because for me, really bad right now would be like.
I remember I went to a national meet, and my parents paid a bunch of money. I got last first day, so then we had to plan the whole week to do stuff because we planned for me to make all the rounds. I remember it was in North Carolina. First round, there's 3 rounds. Got blasted 8th place, and then my parents were like, damn. So then we had to find things to do the whole week, so it was fun. But yeah, I didn't like track then. It wasn't fun. Especially in last place. Probably I was 11, probably like, people run like 12.4. I remember I think I was running like 13.8.
What year was that? Or how old were you?
I was 11.
Okay.
I was 11 years old because my mom gave me a choice to either run track or baseball. You know, baseball was boring when you're like 11. No one's hitting no home runs, so I was over here stuck in the outfield because I was fast. So I chose track instead.
So when did you know, age-wise or time-wise, that, I mean, yes, you're competing for NCAAs now, certainly, and getting here, but when did you know that really competing on a national stage, a national level, and having a chance to really win, when was that a reality for you?
There's probably a lot of meets when I started growing up when I was able to compete at a high level. The most prominent one, I think, is in Finland in 2018. Is when I was 16 years old and I won a gold medal for U20 in the relay. And then obviously another time was in New York when I won the 60. It showed that I was able to compete at a high level with the best. Because like at first I was like beating kids on Oregon, so I was like, oh, like I won't be able to go down to the South. And then I started realizing I can compete with these guys. When I started winning those meets and started giving me more confidence, and led me to where I am today.
So who came up with Quad God?
Oh, no. It's because people, I have so many. I actually have so many names. You don't understand. I got Quad God, Quad, like Quadzilla. I have a whole bunch. Like, it goes on for days. But, like, I don't know. People just will come up to me at meets and be like, oh, my God, how do you get amazing quads? Or, so I've been just trying to, like, embrace it now, trying to, like, make an image out of it. Because, you know, when people think of Saquon Barkley, they be like, Saquon. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of trying to embrace it now, trying to take it as an image, because that's what people know me as. Like, even on my social media, they'd be like, Quad God, Quad Father, Quad this, Quad that. You don't understand. There's a whole bunch. I have it in my phone, but it's just funny hearing it. So I just try to embrace it and make something out of it now. So it's kind of hilarious, but that's where I got it from.
Do you have a favorite?
Not really. I like Quadzilla. It's kind of funny. Like when people say Quad Father, that actually gets me actually loud, because like Quad Father, like that's weird. But I don't know. It's a whole bunch, but. I don't know. Those names are kind of funny, but now I'm trying to embrace it because it's kind of funny. Like listen to people call me that. It's like, what the heck? But
do your teammates call you that?
Oh no. My teammates do not call me that. It's more of like fans and like friends and stuff like that. Cause it's kind of funny. But no, none of my teammates call me that. I don't want them to. That's weird. Call me Quad Father. Like, come on, that's weird. That'd be so weird if my teammates would call me that. But I don't know. It's been good.
Since it's the reference, have you ever actually seen The Godfather?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay.
I need to. I need to now. I've never seen it.
You touched on it a little bit already, not paying too much attention to, what other people are doing. Yeah. How much of your mindset is just competing against yourself?
That's the biggest thing, because last year I felt like I was more of like competing with others rather than myself. So I was trying to like, this guy ran this guy ran this, so I need to get there. But then I started realizing at the end of the season when I wasn't worrying about that, I was running my best races. So ultimately I got like a sports psychologist, and he's been helping me like get there and mentally think, because the mental game is the biggest thing. So I've been taking my mental game to the next level and being like trusting myself and like proving to myself I can do this. And I've done that multiple times, so now I'm starting to have confidence in myself. So when that happens, it's kind of scary, but I don't know. That's the biggest thing for me is confidence.
Was not winning Pac-12s last year and not winning NCAAs last year, was that a driving factor for you coming into this season?
Not really. Like, I just like running. So ultimately, I just want to get better. And if I get better and that includes winning, that's the biggest thing for me. I don't like looking back and dwelling on losses because, everyone takes losses. So, not really is the answer.
On the flip side of that, did making the Olympics, did that boost your confidence at all?
Yeah, that did boost my confidence a little bit. But not only because I made it, it's because I had like Fred Curley and all of them, Fred Curley, Noah, Grant Holloway, and all of them were like good mentors. Even though we're all good mentors to me down there, they like taught me the way, were teaching me things and like telling me certain tips about the game and what to expect. And even like Fred would like comment on my stuff today and help me. So that's the biggest thing. And not more making the team, but like creating connections in the track and field scene, which I really enjoyed ultimately.
We talked about your legacy, but what did it mean to you to be able to, make it to this stage and wear that Oregon O on your chest?
Like, I never thought I'd make it this far, honestly. Like, when I was like a kid, I don't know, I just never expected myself to be at the highest level and being able to compete at the highest level. So even that I'm here, for me, is a accomplishment on its own. Like, in my family, we never really got to do something like this or get to a level like how I'm at. So the fact that I'm even able to get here is a constant in my family for me.
Is there a chance next week is the last time you're wearing an Oregon O on your chest?
Oh, I'm not sure. We'll see. But ultimately, I love being at Oregon. So ultimately, we'll just go over the factors with me and my family and my parents and go over all the benefits. But right now, I'm thinking about, I already registered all my classes for next year, so I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm just trying to get 6 days in to NCAA, and then we'll figure everything else out as time goes on. Ultimately.
How much do you guys embrace the sort of home field advantage in these type of things?
A lot. When I get here and I come here, like it just feels like home. Because I've been here when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 years old. So like when I'm here, I just, it feels normal. Like, when you go home, you open the door, make food. I just feel like a normal kid in the candy shop. So that's what my coach always says. Go to the meet, be like a kid in the candy shop. So I just feel like a kid. I feel normal when they say my name in the crowd. Like all my nerves go away. Like if I have any nerves, it goes away because I know that people are supporting me here, and I just run my race. It's the biggest thing for me.
Good to hear from Mike Williams. The NCAA Track and Field Championships starting on Wednesday. Seeing now a little bit late, but a couple questions coming in. To answer you, Knox, this is the last week of Duck Insider. Wednesday will be the final show. I'm pretty sure Joey will be back in time for the show tomorrow, but if he can't go, well, I'll have my arm warm and I'll be ready to come in out of the bullpen. Tom asking whether we should have a run rule in baseball. So I've had this conversation with a lot of people many times. My opinion is the same as Mark Wasikowski's. I'm here for as many innings as they can possibly play. Think back to the baseball season this year. So a player like Tyler Gannis, remember that game against Portland at PK Park? It was a game early on in the season that Oregon, they won maybe 18-19-1. But Tyler Gannis got some at-bats in that game. Late in the game, he hit his first collegiate home run. I think that really sparked the rest of the season. And then he became one of the more valuable pinch hitters in the entire conference. Remember the pinch hit? Or maybe it was a walk he had against UCLA, a valuable moment for Tyler Gannis. Maybe he doesn't get discovered if we don't play that many innings. Mark Wasikowski has always said he'd play a doubleheader every day if he could. More baseball, I think, the better. That's my opinion on things. Terry Jonz has entered the room. We're doing a lot of women's basketball down the stretch here on Duck Insider. It's the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you is.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Back here on Duck Insider, joined by the voice of women's basketball here, Terry Jonz, joining us. And, we're going to have a package full of highlights for this entire season. Some of your great highlight calls, I might add.
Gosh. We had
yeah. If you're at home.
You guys were recording that? Gosh. I hope it's okay.
Yeah. Do not press the mute button, even though Terry might suggest it. But, hey, before we get to those highlights, maybe let's refresh some fans on what happened this year. So just give me your general takeaways, a reminder for fans of how the season ended and some of the good things you saw from the group this year.
Well, the good things were obviously when they played Arizona. Came back, a minute 40 left in the third, down by 17, I think it was.
Thrilling game.
Won in overtime. India Rogers, the tip by Sedona on the rebound. Went to India, stepping back in and hit the baseline jumper. I think there was 0.2 or something left, but basically
that will, I'm sure, be
the buzzer
on the
beater
highlight package.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be.
And then 2 days later, granted a wounded UConn, but still UConn, who has 5-star.
Everywhere.
A-plus 5-star recruits. Yeah, coming off the bench. So even though they didn't have Paige Beckers and the left-hander, I can't remember her name, who I think had a COVID situation come up. But still, the way the Ducks handled them and the way they played those two games, you thought, they got it. Mm-hmm. They get it. They get how hard you have to play at this level to win. But, boy, as fast as they got it, it went away. And it was frustrating, I think, for Coach Graves and the staff. You could see that. Mm-hmm. I was interviewed by a Pac-12 network on Sirius XM before the Pac-12 tournament. Said, well, what do you think? I said they could win the tournament, they could go to the Final Four, or they can lose first games in each, in the Pac-12 tournament and the NCAA tournament.
It felt to me
kind of what they do.
It felt to me, watching from a bird's eye, that there were things to correct mid-season. It's hard to correct mistakes and get that practice time to get better when you're playing so frequently.
That was part of it. Yeah, I think if Kelly could have done it over again, I think maybe he would have maybe not made up as many games. But at that time, he saw what they were doing, like with the Arizona UConn. That was when they were kind of making up some games. And it looked like the more they were playing, the better they were getting. So I understood why he did that. But I think also they got a little bit tired toward the end.
Yeah.
But then after they had some time off, I did not expect them to lose to Belmont in the NCAA tournament. I thought, man, they've had time off. They've been able to finally practice and do some things and correct some things. And they went there and laid an egg. Now, Belmont was very good. I give them credit. But a good Oregon team beats a Belmont team every time.
Yeah.
Just every time. And they didn't. But they have the talent. I think I said this when I was on with Joey before toward the end. And if you just want to compare, they don't have a Sabrina. There's just a few Sabrina Ionescu's, obviously. That's why there's only a few great ones, right?
Fewer than a few, yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't have anybody like that. They really didn't have the leadership that they needed somebody, it didn't have to be Sabrina, but somebody to step up and say, hey, we need to get with it. This is not acceptable. Now, Sabrina would do that. You know, and they might be playing at a high level and only won by 20, but she knew we didn't play well and could correct that. But there's the lack of leadership, I think, was a lot of it. And they just never seem to gel. And I think, too, we have to realize the big recruiting group, Tahina's class now we'll call, since she's the one that's still around. Their freshman year, it was weird. They didn't get to go to class. It was all Zoom. Practices, they had to stay separate. And that's not normal. It's just not normal. And it was somewhat back to normal this last season, but still there were cancellations, as you mentioned, and had to make up some games. So really 2 years that they were here, they were not normal. So some of them, I hope they would stick around and get to work, get in the gym. All right, let's go. They're going to be juniors, maybe still sophomores eligibility-wise, but they're third year in the program, and let's go to work. This is not acceptable. That somebody would step up and say, not acceptable. Well, we saw what some of them decided to do, that to leave, and for whatever reason they do, I wish them well. They're good kids, but from basketball-wise, you just wish they would have stayed and gotten in the gym and got better. I think they had a chance to do that. Now it's going to be a little bit different with some youngsters coming in. But, starting with Sedona Prince, Cyndia Rogers, and Tahina Paupau, that's not a bad threesome to start with.
I'd say so. Well, let's take an eye to the future in the next segment. A lot more coming with Terry Jonz, but let's hit those highlights from this up-and-down season.
All right, here we go. Ball in the air. Sedona Prince tips it to Diarra Sabali to Maddie Shears. The Ducks with the first possession here to start the season. It is underway. The 21-22 season. To the right side. Now goes free throw line. Bounce pass. Sedona Prince lay it in. Left wing Parrish. Parrish dribbles left to right and scores. Let's see if they count it or say before the shot. I think they're going to count it. Here's Pinto. Drives in the lane. A runner up and banks it home and draws the foul. As it's tied at 80. Sedona, right wing. Open. Hurst on the cut. Scores the pass from Sedona Prince. Washington now over to Yanusa. 3. No. Kicks long. Rebound. Watson at the buzzer. Ducks have won it. Ducks have pulled it out after trailing the entire game. Come back and get the win. And go to 3-0. The Ducks shorthanded, just 8 players. Hey, respectable. Carolina beats the Ducks 80-63-71. 62, the final, South Florida with the victory over the Ducks. And UC Davis has just won the championship, and why not? They should celebrate.
That's a big win for them.
Well, they gave the Ducks all they wanted last year, and they picked off the Ducks.
What do you tell them? I mean, that we've got to get better. We've got to play with a little bit more focus. We've just got to get better. I mean, you know what? This is the team we're going to have for the next month. We've got to find a way. We can't worry about who we don't have. I got to do better coaching the team that we do have.
Burnham in the corner, 1 second, a 3-ball, off the mark at the buzzer, could have tied it. A mad scramble. The Ducks gutted it out here. Inside, Watson backing up, getting some room, reverse and scores, and a foul. To Parrish, a 3 is good. Sydney Parrish inside out. And it's the Kansas State Wildcats, the host for your Oregon Ducks here tonight. 3 of their starters out, 3 all Pac-12 performers out. And they get a couple of them back. For how much tonight, we will see. Ncaa Rogers will play, and Diarra Sabali will be on a minutes count here tonight. Here's Rogers. 3 is good. Top left, well beyond the arc. We approach a minute. Here's Sabali driving, goes in, off the glass, and rattles it home. Just put it on the floor, leaning into it, and scores. And Stanford front court. Paupau stops. Long 3, good. Out top, Paupau with 5 straight, and a good effort by Oregon. 80-68, the final, as Stanford gets the win.
If you've noticed, we haven't played without our 3 best players, who combined for 55 tonight. This is the first game they played together. So as you can see, we're really early on in our process, but we showed glimpses tonight of, I think, being capable of being a pretty good team.
Muscles up, blocked inside, got it back, Hosendove, gives over to Che, who scores! Go to 1-1 on the conference season. High post Sabali faces up, goes to the rim against Love and scores. at 59 with 11.4 to go. Timeout Arizona to advance the ball. Getting it back, Rogers trying to go baseline. Does. Dishes back out. Parries for three. No good. Rebound. Rogers back up and in. And in with 0.4 to go. Rogers after the tip from Sedona Prince. Inbound. Yaney shoots. No good. Ducks have come back from 17 down to win.
If I'm not hitting shots, I know my teammates will. So yeah, I mean, I didn't lose any confidence or anything. It's just today wasn't my day. But I made a big shot to win the game. So, I mean, I still have a shot.
Tops in the front court. Gives to Indy Rogers. In the corner, Hurst. Three. Yes! Ducks by 23. And they can hold it and listen to the crowd. They come to their feet here at Matthew Knight Arena. But Oregon with the victory over number 9 UConn. 47 seconds to go. Ball too high for Mulkey. Sabally with the ball. Going down and scores. Ducks by 6 with 41.4 to go. To Rogers now to Parrish in the right corner for 3. Gets it back. Goes down the baseline. Left corner 3. Parrish. Good! Sydney Parrish. 58-31, largest lead now. Runner in the lane, no, got her own rebound after it bounced on the rim a couple times. Rogers, 3 is good out top. Offensive rebounds and the kickouts, those are deadly. And the Ducks, in a tough one, get the victory over Arizona State as the Ducks go to 7-1 in the conference and 14-5 overall.
We're still putting the pieces together, but just seeing everyone accept their role and being able to do what they do, it's a real joy to see. And we're still getting that continuity with everyone, but just seeing everyone start gluing together, it's gonna be a great month to go.
Goes to Pau in the corner, a 3, banks in. I think it banked. It looked like from here that it banked in from almost the corner down to the lane. Here's Shear, left wing, 3 is good. Maddie Shear. A big 3 ball on the left wing. That's the idea. Zip pass underneath. Sedona Prince scores the assist. Maddie Shear and the Ducks have won for the 3rd straight year at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis. And facing that zone. High post, Sabally out to Parrish for 3. Got it! Parrish left corner 3, good! Sydney Parrish heating up with 4 3-pointers today. A long 3 at the buzzer, and the Ducks have done it here in Salt Lake City, and they're 13 straight over Utah overall. And they secure the number 2 seed in next week's Pac-12 tournament. Around, out top to Pau. Pumps, fires, hits! The 3 ball by Tahina Pau. Ducks by 4. Left elbow, leans in, gets it inside. Prince scores over a couple Bruins. Dugalich looking, gets it out top. Penn fires a 3. Misses back iron. Rebound, Pau. Survive and advance. The Ducks have done it. They will move on to the semifinals. And Utah will play for the Pac-12 Tournament Championship. Utah with the victory. Hallowed ground, Thompson Bowling Arena. Ducks the 5 seed, take it on 12 seed Belmont to Shear to Rogers inside Sabally. Kicks into the corner. Pau open 3. Good! We're tied at 53. And the Ducks will have to defend here and see if they can send it to overtime. Inbound Wells goes down to the corner. Out to Baird. Now Bartley, 3 seconds. Bartley blocked by Sabally on the 3 ball. Rebound Shear, and we are going overtime in Knoxville. And here we go. Inbound, they throw it at the rim, and Bartley blocked inside by Sabally, blocked by Kylie Watson, and we're going double overtime. Here in the second overtime, Ducks ball in front court with 4.5 seconds to go. India Rogers with the ball. Inbounds, goes right to Sabally. Looking, gives to Prince. Prince fires a 3, and it's no good. And the rebound, and Belmont, for the second year, has taken down the number 5 seed as a 12 seed. And this time, it's the Oregon Ducks.
With the 5th pick in the 2022 WNBA draft, the New York Liberty select Ncaa Sabally, University of Oregon.
We never played with our best team until January, okay? And we showed some flashes of really good basketball. We've shown flashes of not very good basketball. The consistency just wasn't there. I think we've got to come back and work harder and be tougher. We've got to come back and hungrier, because we're no longer the hunted. We're hunting like everybody else.
More women's basketball, more Terry
Yay.
Jonz. Get ready for him.
Hey, they won 20 games.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of go.
We're getting a little spoiled.
We are. I mean, I saw some. I guess you're a Duck fan. The other day on a tweet and said, next year's going to be a bust. It's going to be just like this year, worse than this year.
I don't think Kelly
I'm
Graves
like, do you
bust.
realize it was a 20-win season? And we got spoiled, and I get it. It's not a national championship, and if you don't get an ad, we haven't gotten one yet. It doesn't mean it's a bust. It's just not. Are there things they can do better? Are there some pieces, the old Rubik's Cube that Dana does? I mean, yeah, there's some things, but I think they're going to be fine. I fully expect another 20-win plus season. So
we're going to get all into that. I
okay.
got some
Sorry, am
questions
I getting ahead?
No,
Sorry.
no, you're good.
I'll shut up now.
No shutting up. Duck Insider. More of it after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back here on Duck Insider, Jordan Brenner, Terry Jonz. We're taking you the rest of the way. All right, we got a lot. We are.
Okay. You say so.
Only a few minutes left.
By the way, Jordan does a great job.
Thank you,
I heard
Terry.
some baseball games. You enjoy it. It was good.
Thank you. Well,
it's good stuff. We're
you
glad
know,
to have you along on the team.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to do is not embarrass myself next
You're
to Joey.
not. You're
and you
not.
and Jerry.
Trust me, you're not.
Okay.
You're doing very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I think Oregon women's basketball, they're going to do okay next year. Don't you think? We talked for a moment about how fans may be getting a little bit spoiled because we see such a great product every single year. I think we're on our way to another one, especially when you return that backcourt next year.
Yeah, India Rogers, tough as nails. I love India. She's just got to know her this year. She's kind of quiet off the court, but on the court,
ferocious.
Yeah, she will take you on, and she will not back down at all. Tahina, I think with the transfers. And for her to step up when all the transfers were going on and say, hey, 12's not going anywhere. That was huge. That was huge. That was leadership. That was like, this is my team.
Mm-hmm.
This is my team. I've got 2 years left. We're going to go to work.
So
and she even said, to the newbies coming in, the freshmen, that, hey, here's what we're going to do. So I love that. I love that about Tahina. And then we have Sedona. But you were going to ask a question.
Well, I was just going to ask about that backcourt. And I think Tahina and India, to their credit, they have the ability to facilitate and get other players going. But at the end of the day, I think those are two scorers at heart. Maybe you disagree.
No, you're right.
Oftentimes when you have two of those players in the backcourt, that can maybe they start stepping on each other. But I didn't see much of that last year.
Yeah, they are scoring guards. I know they're Tahina's freshman year. I asked Coach, I said, well, not as much pick and roll. And he goes, well, I don't really have a guard that's good at it. Because you got on the pick and roll, you got to run the screen, your defender into the screen. Then you got to hit that screen and turn the corner. That's when you have
all those decisions to make off of that.
Then you got the triple threat for the defense: the roller, you, and shooter. And when you had Aaron Boley, you had Ruthie, you had Sabrina doing that.
All those weapons.
But Sabrina,
everywhere.
when she was a freshman, wasn't good at it either. But she obviously figured it out and got pretty good at it. But they're not that type of guards, and we'll see if one of the freshmen coming in, maybe Chelsea Gray, can be one of those, but she's also a great shooter. But by the way, Elise Hurst is another guard coming off the bench that's back for her last year. That's really going to help. But you're right, those two guards, they're more scorers. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think you would like one to maybe be a little bit better in the pick and roll. I think at Coach, if he had his brothers, one would learn the pick and roll just a little bit better and be that threat. And then, I think that helps like a Taya Hansen, transfer from Arizona State, who I think is a better three-point shooter than what her numbers at Arizona State show.
Well, free throw percentage is always a good indicator for me. Can you shoot? And I think free throw percentage can often translate to being a good three-point shooter. And, well, she led the Sun Devils shooting nearly 89% from the line. And there was that last game of the season where I think she caught fire and hit like 6 or 7 threes in one game. So.
She's capable of that. I remember when she was a true freshman and playing the Arizona State, playing the Ducks at Matthew Knight. And this kid came off the bench, hit a couple of threes in the corner, and I'm like, who is this? She's going to be good. And I think she's capable. I've talked to some of the Oregon assistants here this summer or spring and said, I think she's a better shooter than her numbers show. And they said, exactly. In the Arizona State offense, her threes were pretty rushed. It wasn't. And I think in this offense, if they can get somebody to do the pick and roll, penetrate and dish, that she's going to have a little more time to shoot her three. Now, at this level, you have to get your threes off pretty quickly. You do, because somebody's coming. You're not going to just be able to stand there and check the wind most of the time. You got to get rid of it quickly, and I think she's pretty good at that. I mean, I can see her shooting high 30s in threes, maybe in a Kelly Graves system that he'll figure out a way. And the biggest thing that she brings is toughness that this year this team didn't have. They weren't tough at all. Now, I think Ncaa was tough. I think Ncaa could have been, but her knees didn't allow her to practice. She couldn't get in the condition that I think she would like to, and obviously the New York Liberty are giving her a year off and some surgery trying to get that fixed. But she's I think Ncaa was tough. I think Tahina can be tough, but and India is tough, but they didn't have that team toughness. There was always something missing.
I want to hit on that when we come back. We do have one more break.
Okay.
Terry Jonz, more from him after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Wrapping up here on Duck Insider, Jordan Brenner, the voice of women's basketball, Terry Jonz. Next year, what should fans expect?
Well, again, Sedona, Tahina, India, starting with that. I think Ncaa Hansen from the Arizona State transfer, you may see her in the starting line. Yeah, you need that toughness.
Yeah.
And she's going to bring that, and I think some three-point shooting. Whether Filipina Che moves into the starting lineup, we'll see, with Kylie Watson deciding to transfer, who would have had some playing time. So I'm just a little baffled by that one. I think she would have gotten more minutes. You got Elise Hurst coming off the bench, Hosendove, Grace Van Sluten, one of the freshmen coming in, just made the U18 Team USA, U.S. Junior National Team. Tough. 6'3", seen her in the McDonald's All-American game. I think she's going to bring some toughness.
How about the growth from the core players that you expect to see?
Well, Tahina, I think I really look for a huge jump for Tahina. I mean, I think just that statement that she made when everybody was transferring, that I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I think that was huge, and probably took a lift off of her that, okay, now I can go forward. I'm staying. This is my team, and I'm going to take this team as far as we can go. That's huge. I mean, that's a Sabrina-type leadership. Jenna Asai, by the way, coming off the bench. She is tough. I think a year of tutoring under Ncaa Hansen, similar position, is really going to help. And then Kennedy Basham. I'm not sure about her. I know she had surgery, so we'll see on her feet. You got to wrap it up.
We do. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, everybody. Go Ducks. Back tomorrow.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon.